All right, hi guys, welcome back to Animal Encounters. And all right, let's jump in today. So we are going to be learning about another reptile today. And who remembers what a reptile is? Talked about it a few times now. So a reptile has a backbone. It is ectotherm, which means cold-blooded. Most reptiles lay eggs. Their bodies are covered in scales, and they have ear holes instead of ears. And reptiles breathe using lungs. So the reptile we're going to learn about today is the snake, the good old snake. All right, some characteristics of the snake are it has dry, scaly skin. It is ectothermic, which means cold-blooded. It is a vertebrae, which means they have a backbone. So let me go ahead and show you this. This is a snake with its bones. Can you guys see that? So that's just to prove that our snake has a backbone. They shed their skin. They breathe air using lungs. They have no legs. They have no eyelids. They have no external ear openings. They are carnivores. That means they eat meat. There are 35 different species of snakes that live here in Utah, and some of those that are the most common are the garter snake and the gopher, the western racer, and then we have 5 different species of rattlesnakes that we have around our state of Utah. So kind of crazy, right? I would love to ask if any of you guys have ever come across a snake in your backyards or as you're hiking in the mountains or something. I'm sure it's happened. Or some of you might even have a pet snake, which would be super cool. So let me go get into our slideshow and we can learn a little bit more about some snakes. Here we go. All right, so the animal we're going to learn about today is the snake, which I've already introduced. And we have talked about he is a reptile and a vertebrae because of the backbone. All right, here are some cool pictures of some snakes. Over here we have the longest. This is a python, and he is 30 feet long. They can grow up to be 30 feet. And then up here in this corner by my face is the heaviest, which is an anaconda, and it is over 200 pounds. That's a big, heavy snake. I would not want to come across that. And then down here at the bottom, we have our smallest, which is called a Barbados thread snake, and it's only 4 inches long. So this one kind of reminds me of like a worm that you'd find on the sidewalk after it has just rained. All right. So reptiles, including snakes, shed their skin when they grow. The top layer peels off, revealing beautiful, shiny new scales underneath it. So the more they eat, the more they have to shed because their skin gets tight. And so they have to shed that off so they have room to grow. Just like we get too small for our shoes or we're growing and our pants get too small, kind of similar like that. I'm going to go ahead and try to share this video with you. And this is a snake that is shedding its skin. Kind of a cool thing to watch. If it works. Let's see if we can get it to work. Here we go. That's kind of cool, right? He just slowly turns, almost like he turns inside out as he gets his old skin off. So that was kind of a cool thing to be able to watch. All right, let's move on. Okay, before shedding their skin, snakes the okay, before shedding their skin, the snake's colors become dull and their eyes appear cloudy, white, or bluish. This is caused by fluid located between the layers of the skin while the outer layer is preparing to be peeled off. So how many of you guys noticed in that little short clip that we just watched of a snake losing its skin that you could see where its eyes were on the skin? That was super cool, right? Yeah. So the whole thing peels off when a snake sheds its skin. So a snake starts shedding by rubbing its nose on a rough surface when it's ready to shed. They can't just always automatically do that. It's when it's ready, it will start, and then you guys saw how it did the rest of it. It just kind of kept going in and out of like the grasses, and it would help to continue the movement of its shedding. Snakes shed their entire outer layer of skin, including the scale that covers their eyes. These scales look like mini contact lenses. How often a snake sheds depends on how much it eats. The more a snake eats, the faster it grows, and so the more often it will shed. So about 2 to 4 times a year is pretty average. All right, and let's try this video. Hopefully it doesn't lag on us.
Snakes. Today, we're looking at slippery snakes. Snakes have no legs, so they slide around on their bellies. That would be hard. But it doesn't slow snakes down. They are great climbers and swimmers. And you won't see snakes in the fruit and vegetable store. That's because they're carnivores, which means they eat meat, like small animals. For example, rodents, birds, frogs, and other reptiles. I hope you chew your food well. Snakes can't, so they have special jaws to swallow their food whole. They also have a great armor of hard scales to protect them. They like to keep their armor shiny, so they shed their skin regularly, just like we change our clothes. Looking good.
Kind of a fun little video to be able to see a live snake moving around, right? Okay, so just to recap on our snakes, they have a backbone. Remember the picture I showed? They have a backbone, so they have all those bones. So that makes them a vertebrae. And they have no eyelids. They have no ear openings. They're carnivores. They have scaly skin, and most of them lay eggs. I have here with me some actual snake skin from a snake that has shed, and this is a pretty long snake. So just wanted to kind of show this to you. It's kind of hard. I wish you guys could all be able to touch it. It's kind of like a grocery sack. It might be like the best. You can feel its scales, but it is like you can kind of hear it too. It feels very much like a grocery sack, like a very fragile grocery sack. This is pretty long. I am not sure where this snake came from. I was given this. I would not want to come across this snake, that's for sure. Anyway, can you hear that? It's like a plastic bag. Kind of cool. Kind of cool on that. That is actually called, that snake skin is actually from a king snake. And I'm not sure where it was found here, but kind of a cool little thing I'm able to show you guys. Again, I wish you could feel it, but that's all right. Maybe you guys have some pets that is a snake and you've seen that happen, and that's super cool. I don't have an activity today. Yeah, I don't have an activity for you today, but I hope you enjoyed this short little lesson on snakes, and I hope you learned something new. And we'll see you next time for Animal Encounters. Thanks, guys.